Welcome back for the final segment of Tiger Talk. Again, our guest today is Doug Williams, Superintendent of Sunnyvale ISD, longtime friend, and quite frankly, probably one of the smartest guys I've ever been around. But don't let that head get too big when I say that.
Wow.
But no,
I would disagree with that.
Well, the last session here that we want to talk about is vouchers and charter schools.
Okay.
Again, the chairman of the Public Education Committee, Dan Patrick, basically put this on the forefront whenever he was selected to be the chairman of the Senate Ed Committee, and that is charter schools and vouchers, giving parents a choice of whether their kids can go to school, and charter schools, and talking about the great things that charter schools do. The issue is using public tax money, public money, to help fund these charter schools, and charter schools are actually for-profit schools.
Right.
And so that's where there's been a lot of debate. But I think one of the biggest issues with charter schools is that they don't have to follow the same rules as public schools.
Sure.
Their teachers don't have to be highly qualified or certified. They can do some things that we can't do. And if you don't mind, explain for the viewers why that's an issue. Why is it an issue that we as public school administrators and public school folks draw issue with the fact that they don't have to do what we have to do?
Well, first of all, I think there are a couple, three fundamental issues. The first issue is it really sounds good to give parents choice. Parental choice, that's American. Man, you know, parents deserve choice. It's not that simple. And if when it's laid out as well, this is a parent choice bill, then how can you oppose parental choice? We view it as not truly about parental choice as much as moving away from what made our country great. Sometime in the late 1800s, right after the Civil War, our country decided that they were going to make education free and appropriate. And when they did that, they started a taxing effort to increase, to put money into education and to make education available to all. And as that started, that spurred the Industrial Revolution, which led to America becoming the power that it is. So the fundamental issue that we have here is we must continue to support the system that made our country great. As you begin to move dollars away from public schools into a charter, or even take it the next step and go to a private school, only the kids that can afford to go there will be able to go there. And so what will happen to the schools that lose that money? The programs that have been offered, class sizes will go up, all of those things that again, created a great system of public education will go away.
Well, I think as far as my view on this is that I have no problem in some ways with them as long as we have to play by the same rules.
Right.
You know, give us the opportunity to do the same things creatively, you know, as far as the creative side in the classroom. Let us hire folks that might be experts in the field but aren't necessarily certified by the state of Texas to teach, but yet they understand aerodynamics or they understand science, but they might not have the teaching certification, but yet they're very good at what they do or what they can teach.
Or plumbing or electrical or welding or, yeah. I think a system like that puts us all on a level playing field. And again, it gives public schools an opportunity to be successful.
Well, I think that and a lot of folks will say that we have choice right now to some extent.
Right.
If there's a child in the Mesquite School District and they want to transfer into Sunnyvale Independent School District, they can do that if that's your rule. I honestly don't even know if you have that policy.
We don't have transfer policy.
Okay, we have the transfer policy.
Right.
If there's a student in Kimball that wants to come to Commerce ISD, they can. Now there are certain issues. I mean, they need to make sure that they've taken care of themselves academically or in attendance. Those are reasons why we can deny that transfer. But they're actually saying the same thing with charter schools. Charter schools, they can take who they want, and they can get rid of who they want. So it almost becomes, and this is one of these controversial words, if you're not careful, charter schools can almost go back to pre-integration days. You'll end up with segregated schools. You'll end up with schools especially for mentally challenged kids or physically challenged kids, or I mean, next thing you know, we're going back to exactly what years of laws have done as far as being more inclusive of folks in the classroom.
It's de facto segregation is what you're looking at. So.
Yes.
And you and I, again, we're kids of public educators, and our parents who taught, that's not the way our system was built, and we must do what we can to preserve that.
Well, I believe that at least right now, I don't know how many votes are there. I know that there were a lot of amendments tacked on to Senate Bill 5 or House Bill 5,
right.
And Senate Bill 3 to try to get some of the vouchers and charter school type legislation through. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Now, one of the things I am seeing, and I spent a little time early March in Austin, I sense a great feeling of cooperation this time. Yes, there are some of our lawmakers that do have their own agenda, but quite a few of them are listening to exactly what's going on. You know, Blake and you and I shared this, and we sat across the table from him, but our state senator, Bob Dewell, he's got a great understanding of what's really important for schools. Senator Dewell, first of all, he listens to his constituents, and he votes according to what's best for his constituents. You have to appreciate him for that. I really feel like that men like Senator Dewell, they're statesmen. They do what's best for kids, and that's what we've got to do carrying forward. So.
Well, and I don't, I even want to, I'm going to go ahead and put props out there for our Representative Van Flynn. While we've agreed to disagree on a few issues at times, I'm going to say this session, he has definitely been more responsive to public schools, and I appreciate him doing that also. I feel good about legislation right now in Austin and things that are going on in regard to things like the response to the school finance lawsuit. They're talking about actually putting some money back in now. Part of we had $5.3 billion cut originally.
Yeah, be careful with talking about putting money back in.
It's not new money. It's old money they're trying to replace, and they haven't replaced all the 5.3, but.
Right. Yeah, I think what we do have to be careful about that. That's like saying, well, you're going to get a 5% pay cut, and then 2 years later, your boss coming back and saying, well, we're going to give you a 1.5% raise. Yeah. So you are a little short, but I do think that we do have a sense of cooperation.
Yes, we do. So I'm excited about what is in store for education. I'm excited about the changes coming around. I'm excited about the opportunities we're going to be able to do to allow our teachers to have the creativity in the classroom again.
Right. And I know we're about to wrap, but one of the things that we have to do is we have to continue, our parents have to continue to say what they feel like is best for education.
And in closing, that's which is a great comment by Doug Williams. It's imperative that you, as parents, as citizens of Commerce, the area, as parents of kids, that you stay involved and stay informed of what's going on in Austin. That's the only way things are going to get done, is by your involvement and you being vocal about where you stand. Thank you again for this, being part of this. Doug, thanks for being here. Thanks for making it right down.
Thank you.
This is going to be all we have for this particular special edition of Tiger Talk. Good evening, and see you next time.